Hello, all of you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is DevTales, where we're going to be working on our custom SCAR system, or Stories and Creatures in Alternate Realities. This system is available for open playtest on our Discord, as well as over on itch.io. Go, take a look at it, let us know what you think. For now, we'll go ahead and get this brought up here.
Do you want me to drag Raharu up?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright, so yeah, we've got our TF talkies, so feel free to transform me to your heart's content,
Think
everybody.
fast, Sir Irabane, because the Lord Beerus is smooching you.
What were you saying, Zim?
I was just bringing things up here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with suggestions. So first things first, we've got Blue Bat. Compulsion. Using a different attack besides one you just used is done with reduced dice. An AOO is triggered every time a move is different from the last one used. So this is a condition. So I guess the idea of this is it forces you to use the same move over and over?
So Encore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically an encore.
Encore from Pokemon.
Part of my concern with this would be, first off, pure dice count stuff is crushingly painful early game, and then late game it's like, okay. Like, yeah, sure, that might suck a little bit, but like, come on.
Yeah.
But like early game, it's like, congratulations, rolled 2 dice.
Yeah, just outright dice addition or subtraction is just, it does not scale at all.
Well, it only does if it's repeatable, which it's not.
Well, the main way that we wind up adjusting it for scaling is by changing the difficulty, because that is one thing that will impact you no matter how many dice you have.
True.
True.
But also, I don't know how I feel about this one being added. Like, I know it's in Pokemon and all, but
Yeah, but it's also not a turn repeater thing. It's a one-turn thing. So it'd be in the same vein as a stun or what have you.
Yeah, I was about to say. So, like stun where the what you call it, the affliction goes down by 1 each turn if there's more than 1 tier.
I'm also just trying to think about, like, how impactful it would even actually be to have.
yeah.
Because, like, let's say someone is using a sword. like, sure, technically speaking, it locks them out of, like, the alternate weapon attacks that they can use. But still, like, I don't think people would really mind. For moves, people generally only have, like, 1 or 2 main attacking offensive moves like that.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody that only uses a single move, it will basically do nothing to them. It will just stop
Yeah.
them from buffing if they have buffs.
No, it doesn't do that.
Or keep
Because it's
them locked
difficulty
in a-
change.
Ah,
Oh, true. So it wouldn't affect somebody, or you wouldn't be able to lock somebody into repeatedly buffing themselves for no good reason.
Yeah. And because it's not exactly like Encore.
Ah.
The other thing to keep in mind is that also, like, for example, this wouldn't lock someone into healing. This would not lock someone into buffs. This would not lock them into anything except for repeating the same offensive thing that they just tried. There's also the question of, after you use a different thing, does the compulsion swap to that thing now? Because you just used a different move.
I'm feeling like this will be one that we pass on.
Yeah, because trying to think about ways to make it work while also having it be impactful is, there is a whole lot of things where this would be something where it would either be as broken as Encore is in Pokemon, or it's completely useless. This isn't really something that has a good middle ground just available.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, we do have some things that are, you know, situational, but this, I don't know. It's not sitting well with me. Yeah, we're just gonna pass on it.
Maybe for the best, unfortunately.
Encore's kind of broken anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get it on the right move, yeah.
It's literally just congratulations, do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons why it's, like in the games, it's a gamble because you have no idea what they're about to use.
Well, if you have a slower speed Pokemon, or no, you need a faster speed. If you got a faster speed
Yeah.
Pokemon that acts first, you can base off what they did last turn.
And at least when it comes to Pokemon, you can kind of predict what they could do depending on the Pokemon they're using. Since if we go by competitive, Pokemon usually have sets of moves that they usually use.
Alright, synchronized. Stat changes are linked between others affected with synchronized. I don't know if this is a feat or condition. I mean, it's with a bunch of condition stuff, but either way, I don't like the sounds of something that just we would have to make
Especially
it
because this ignores
obscene.
stages.
Yeah. We would have to make this obscenely expensive.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what you could do is, as a negative on a move, give yourself -3 of, like, everything, including crit chance, and synchronize with the boss. And then you sit there uselessly, and the boss sits there uselessly. You can do that. That would be the move with that thing. Is just,
Yeah.
okay, I'm useless, but the boss is too now. Everyone else, quick, beat them up.
We're
They have
useless
-3
together.
everything.
Either that, or you could have a single move to buff yourself, and then you buff the rest of your allies. But you can already do that with.
You can already do that.
Yeah. So at that one, it doesn't really do that much, and in the other end, it's broken.
And Bluebad, while we're not taking these, we do really appreciate the suggestions.
Oh, absolutely. Like, which is normally why we discuss it, and then we discuss if there's a way that we can change it to make it work.
I don't think we want something like that as a spell trait either, Bluebat, because it's the same concept. It's the same thing. Whether it's
You can
a condition,
also...
feat, or spell, or whatever, it's still the problem of it would just be broken.
And technically,
how,
there's a link.
I was about to say Link exists, so there is a way to facilitate it with magic already. It's just not a dedicated thing.
Yeah, it'd be very expensive, but it's possibly doable. ST pending.
Yep.
Alright, next up, Purity. Prevents positive and negative stat changes from affecting you. Increases stage of stats affected per intensity. So this is intended to be a condition that... Well, we already have this, essentially, or at least a arguably better version with the,
Insulated?
Not well, actually, it might be insulated.
Does insulated prevent positive status conditions?
I think
No, but we now have Spite for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got insulated and Spite. Spite was the one that I was thinking of, but yeah, Spite isn't really the comparison here, but insulated can work against, which I guess we should put in here that it can work against. I mean, stat changes are classified as conditions anyways, but I guess for the sake
Well, that's
of
what
clarity.
Guarded is also the thing that works against preventing negative stat changes.
Ah, right. Either way, we've got something. So.
Was this purity thing meant to be a feat or a condition?
Like
wait,
I
no, we're
said, a
talking about
condition.
conditions. Yeah, sorry. No, yeah, then we already have this then, yeah.
Granted, we could potentially put in at least something that benefits you when you're at exactly 0, but it would also be extremely gimmicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would also
Stimulated.
be like, yeah.
Grants you more reactions per stack. So I guess that is
like
just amped, but for
mini-amped.
reactions.
Yeah, mini amped.
I mean, I'm not
Which,
against
yeah,
it.
that could definitely be put in.
Yeah.
It's just a mini amped. Works.
That sounds interesting.
It'd be a lot cheaper too, and just be probably like a 10 XP, because you also have to buy the condition thing.
Yeah, reactions are very situational on whether they're useful or not. So yeah, I'd say 10 XP for a stack of it. Do we want to allow it? Considering it is situational, I may say we don't allow a negative version of it. Because it would be a little cheesy if you could just throw a bunch of reactions to stuff on an enemy and then purposely make sure you never trigger an AOO.
Well, that, and you could throw it on them Yeah, like, because basically, because it'd be a condition, it'd be like amp, so you could just store them up. But it's like, you know, unless the boss or enemy or whatever specifically has something that interacts with it, it would just be like, okay, guys, just don't provoke AOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no negative version for it, but I'm good with 10 XP for that.
Now that I think about it, do we have a condition that prevents that lowers your reaction count?
I don't think we'll ever want to put that in.
No, the way to remove someone's reactions entirely is put them in negative initiative.
Oh,
If they're
right.
at negative initiative, they lose all reactions.
Fair.
Well, gonna go ahead and add it then.
Yeah. What was it called again?
That's the wrong date.
Stimulated. It's stimulated.
Stimulated.
Hello there, Resto. Alright. Next up, harmonized. You are synchronized with your allies. Teamwork maneuvers have lower difficulty.
No, because that would put your combos at -1 difficulty.
Yeah.
And that ain't happening.
Combos are not strong enough as it is that we don't allow them to crit.
Go for it, Resto. Oh, right, I gotta restart the Marten bot.
I think these next set is all feats.
Yeah, Bluebat, please in the future make sure you clarify whether these are feats or conditions or whatnot, because it's a little difficult to figure that out. And good night, Merle. You are precious.
Pearl is precious.
Alright, disguised. Your true status and typing is obscured to the enemy. Higher intensities increase difficulty of appraisal checks against it, and a greater amount of misinformation is given to the enemies. The effect definitely does not fit for a condition. I'll say that right off the bat. That said, a feat for this could be interesting.
We do have
Yeah.
Frail Main now, which would also be something, I guess, similar-ish to this.
Well, for main, the purpose of that is just giving you free taunt on enemies.
Yeah, but it does so, but it also gives them misinformation about how strong you are as a part of its effects.
Kinda. I think that this would be a different effect altogether. Ah,
Well,
so
yeah,
these
no,
are
I'm
intended
just
to
saying.
all be conditions? Okay.
All right.
But in the future, yeah. Clarify, please. I could see it as a feat. Increased difficulty for appraisal checks, determining information about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
All right, note it down.
Disguise, right?
I'll probably rename it from disguised, but for now, yeah, put that in.
Mhm.
Next is Vigilant, able to ignore certain effects of certain field hazards and effects. We don't have any of those yet, really, so we're gonna pass on it for now. And when we actually have something that would affect, well, we don't really have any of that right now, Blue Bat. And either way, I'm not sure it would fit as a condition anyways. Because remember that most conditions, you have to apply them during combat. The only ones that you don't are persistent ones, and those all carry damage with them. We're not planning to put any positives in there. So, like with the disguised, that wouldn't really work because, well, you'd have to have a turn to use it, to apply it to yourself, and that would kind of be a waste of a turn because they would already be able to figure that out, especially with skill reactions. Provided they even take the time to do so anyways.
Well, there is it doesn't do the same thing, but it is still themed to be defensive in nature, and it would probably fit with being vigilant. So we have one already that's called Inspired. And obviously what that does is it makes it so that way you are able to ignore the opponent's defensive positive stat changes for an attack.
Oh, so like Oblivious from Pokemon, just with a single stat change.
Not a single one. Like if they have evasion stat changes and integrity stat changes and all of it, it'll apply to all of it. That's already in the game. That exists already. But we could potentially make one for either ignoring the opponent's offensive ones for the attack, or ignoring negative defensive stat changes on yourself, or things of that nature. Because that would fit with the theming. And I feel like it would make a lot more sense than the field hazards and effects, of which we don't have any of.
I like that idea. Make it so if you've got you can pop a stack of Vigilant to basically make the opponent's and your own stat changes not apply to the attack. The opponent's positives and your negatives, specifically. Alright, note it down.
Should also include a note to Inspired, that because if that's how that's going to work with Vigilant, we should probably make it so Inspired works on your negatives as well as the opponent's positives.
Make note of that as well. Alright, next up, Shrewd. Increases chance of applying stat changes. Don't we already have that with the stat changes themselves?
Yeah, accuracy does that.
Yeah.
Gives 5% per.
So I think that's going to be one we pass on.
For vigilant is ignore opponent's positive and your own negative stat offensive stat changes, right? That's what we said.
Your negative defensive stat changes and your opponent's positive offensive stat changes.
Ah.
Basically, it means that at worst, for an attack, you will have neutral at worst.
Alright, next up, Astute. Able to avoid provoking attacks of opportunity. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not
already
sure
do
about the-
have an...
What's up?
You name it Wary or something.
Yeah, Wary might be better, but the name wasn't fitting well, but I do like that effect.
Yeah, we do currently have, as an analogous thing, a thing in Primeval Initiative, where it's not the exact same, but it's it does something similar. Which is the Fleet Paw thing, which specifically does movement maneuvers, not triggering an action of opportunity.
Yeah.
So we do have something that's similar.
Having a condition for that, I think, is good.
Yeah. Do I want to make it all AOs or just movement?
That is a good question.
If it is a condition, if it is a condition with different stages, maybe you could have each stage give more AOs to ignore.
No, this would be one of the
Well, it'd be
stacking
a
ones
stack.
where you consume a stack to get its effect.
An
Yeah.
earnest
fair.
disciple.
This is a stack one.
Adam Learns Live, thank you very much for that follow. And Raid, holy crap.
Whoa! Welcome, everyone.
Rank up. Hold the line. This hamlet shall not fall.
Adam Learns Live raided my stream with 96 viewers.
Well, thank you very much for that, Raid. Welcome in, everybody. I am Razim. We do a lot of things here. Right now, we are working on our custom tabletop RPG system called Scar, which is available for open playtest on our Discord as well as itch.io. And you can also get it right here. But yeah, we're working on our tabletop system today. We've got a lot of tabletop games here. Pathfinder, several Pokemon games, couple of Digimon, Star Wars tabletop. We've got a Kobold campaign coming soon. We have artists that come and join us throughout the week. We have a wide variety of games that I play. Recently, it's been Fallout 4 and Cosmoteer. As for the ducks, that is just, they're just there for ducks. That's Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. We just have it there as something to look at. And, well, ducks. Ducks are good.
It's literally just there for people to watch and, have some fun looking at the ducks going by while we talk about nerd stuff.
Quack.
It can be relaxing.
It can be very relaxing. And it helps my ADHD a bit to stay focused, to have something to, something moving to look at while I'm doing these.
Fair.
Even if it is somewhat distracting occasionally when, Poseidon shows up. Have
Yes,
a
Poseidon.
great one. Have a good one there, Adam. And thanks so much for sharing your community with me. Let me get that shout out for you, because I think my mods are away at the moment. Oh, you were working on something too. Well, if you're still there, I would love to hear about it. But, as for the wary, I think it should be expensive, and I think it should apply to all AOOs. I mean, anything that prevents AOOs should automatically be expensive, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Var. It would be 1 AOO per stack. Ooh, very interesting, Xyletics. Well, let Adam know that I would be interested in taking a look at it. I don't really do demos, but just playing the game by its, the game, I welcome it. Alright, next suggestion here, which, by the way, everybody, the system is, we do take community suggestions, and that's what we're going through right now. It's a system for playing as Pokemon, Digimon, monsters from Monster Hunter, and more. Like I said earlier, we have a Star Wars campaign being run with this system, and in the future we're going to be running a Kobold campaign with the system. It's a very flexible system. Lots of customizability. Lots of stuff to do. But yeah. Next up, Laced. When hit, you react with a strike with an affinity-based attack. Well, strike is a specific maneuver, Blue Bat. Oh, the next 4 are variations of the same condition? Okay. So, volatile, when hit, you react with damage to your adjacent area. Absorb, when hit, you react with a lifesteal strike. Burst, when hit, you react with a knockback to your adjacent area. So, I guess these are not directly attacks by themselves? These feel very interesting to me. I'm just trying to think of how we could really implement them. We could absolutely have them impact strike itself.
Yeah.
Maybe they temporarily give it, like, lifesteal or whatnot.
It might encourage people to build into strike more.
Yeah, which is part of why I'm really interested in it.
Yeah.
Trying to think about implementation.
So these are meant to be conditions that improve strike in one way or another.
Yeah, so it'd be like, again, one of the stacking conditions where, like, you would just have stacks of it instead of it increasing in intensity.
Mhm.
And what would happen is that when you get hit, if you want, you could pop one of these in order to, have that effect happen around you.
Mm.
I'm thinking it would be best to have to just combine all of them into one, and then when it pops, you can choose which effect.
Yeah, instead of having 4 different ones, that sounds for the best. Just a single condition with different effects.
Also,
Kind
we
of-
do need
kind
to
of like-
back up a little bit. We did not come up with XP costs for adding those conditions.
Ah.
The ADHD brain helps sometimes. When it's like, oh wait, we gotta do this. Vigilant, ignoring positive offensive stat. I say we just make that the same as inspired.
Inspired.
How much is
So-
Inspire?
20 and then negative 15 for the negative version.
Yeah.
And then for wary, allows you to ignore all 1 AO per stack.
Be right back. I'm gonna go take my meds.
Okay. That one definitely needs to be expensive. I'm thinking 30.
Yeah, because it's like one of the protection ones,
Yeah.
where it's like protected or insulated, except it just doesn't let the attack go off.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, considering it is specifically an AOO, maybe it should be cheaper than protected.
Just
But
throw it
not
at
by
like
much.
25.
Yeah, I'm thinking 25.
25 sounds about right.
No negative version on this, though. Same reason we didn't want the negative version for stimulated.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we can move back to the group here. Some of them are definitely stronger than others. Like the AoE, I guess it is situational as well, but like the AoE one is very good if you are surrounded, but if it's just one person, then kind of useless. But
To be fair, if it's meant to be select which one you want, you wouldn't use it in that situation.
well, I'm saying this because considering XP cost.
Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Well, I guess one of the effects can be where you get to attack with strike, but it is one of your affinity types. That is a good one. A 5-foot sphere AoE, I'm good with that. Lifesteal.
Partial
also
master
good.
boss just like be like, group up on me, I dare you.
Yes. Would have been very good for some of the the Sin Lords. Yeah, I'm good with all of those effects. I guess the term for it, or the name for this condition, it does kind of break the kind of theming, but strike back. Mainly because it'd be 2 words instead of 1 for the rest of them.
It'd be something called retaliate.
Yeah, that works. Alright, we'll call it retaliate. It has those 4 effects that you can choose one of them.
What was the first effect again?
You can add one of your affinity types to the attack or to the strike.
Ah.
Now for the XP cost, it's a pretty... It has the potential to be really good. It also has the potential to be kind of useless, so I'd say 18 XP.
Yeah, 18's fine.
For the negative version, I would say 12. No, actually, considering you're literally giving the enemy a free attack for if you hit them. Granted, they might not have anything in strike, but still, we'll keep it at the same cost.
Because they can also choose the AoE and then get hit stun on all of your friends that are around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just lifesteal.
Follow-up question, actually, really quickly. Would this combo with the strike capable on a weapon, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the strike capable just means that it's capable of contributing to your strikes. Of course, it goes by that's own rules, but, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, good suggestion there, Blue Bat. I like it. Alright, next up from Key. An equipment trait that takes into account weaponry with multiple forms, not merely a damage type change, as there are many instances in media of trick weapons that can double or triple as other weaponry. We do have this somewhat in mounted, as it could be flavored as such, but nothing for shifting a melee weapon into another, sometimes bigger, stronger, different melee weapon. I'm pretty sure we already have that.
We had it before, and then it wasn't ported over with the magic stuff yet, because we weren't sure how to have the magic stuff work yet. And then we added it back. And then also now we have the what is it called? Adaptive form. Yeah, adaptive form is the current version of that. So yeah, we do have that.
Pretty sure we've had that longer than this suggestion's been here, but it hasn't been in the official document yet, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've had it, but it hasn't been, like... It wasn't in the most accessible of locations. Let's put it that way.
Alright, equipment trade idea from Blue Bat. Curve shot. Due to the way the weapon fires projectiles in an arc, it ignores the effects of partial cover. I guess? I'm leaning towards...
Haven't we generally been of... Go ahead.
I'm leaning towards no on that, though.
I think so far we've avoided angles.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could make something that a trait where it allows you to ignore light cover. It's just, you know.
Very situational.
Well, it also depends on the campaign. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, in the Star Wars one, lot of cover usage. But that's also because people don't want to get shot at.
Yeah.
But, so it's like... Like, I don't really see the harm in adding it. It's just also very situational.
Yeah, and I think it's best to kind of preserve the sanctity of cover. At least more, like, letting someone just ignore it feels... I think that's a feels bad moment kind of thing.
Fair.
Especially because, well, then it gets into the... Like, I could understand where it's kind of a lobbing shot over the cover, but, like, if they're behind a pillar, that wouldn't really work, and, you know, guns shoot straight. The most they do is just occasionally, you know, they have some downward arc, but yeah, I don't think this fits, really.
When you said that, it made me think of that one movie where people use guns with curved shots. I forgot its name.
I know what movie you're talking about, where he, like, flicks the gun and it somehow makes it go around a woman's head.
Yes.
Yeah. It does show up in a few different things, but yeah.
Hey, guys.
What?
We are getting a guest.
Ooh.
No?
Is it a hex?
It's a Whiskers.
Ooh, Whiskers.
Ooh, Whiskers. Whiskers. Dude.
And switch over to this screen. Key makes a very good suggestion. An info box specifically for crit chance change to clarify that regardless of the source of the change, it can only be a total of +3, -3. That is a good thing to add, yes. Note that down.
I know that we've told people that a lot, but it's probably good if we make it clear.
Alright, so probably the... Well, no, we can probably get through these. Alright, so next up from Key. Feat suggestion, pile on. When you crit or overcrit a target, any allies adjacent to the target may make an attack of opportunity against it. Ooh. That would be devastating.
Well, it'd also be a question of if the critter needs to have this, or the person next to the person getting crit needs to have this.
Well, the wording here is that it implies that it would be the one that is causing the crit. I feel like we should adjust it to each of those around need to have it. But as a result, we could make it one of the discounted feats. Because that relies on an ally pulling it off in the first place, you know?
Yeah, there's still the thing of... And it'd be nasty either way.
Yeah.
Definitely would.
I can promise you that everybody in DHH should pick it up immediately.
Well, I mean, anyone that's in a game that has a
crit build?
high crit build character should probably pick it up, yeah. At least if they're melee. If they're not melee, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So if you overcrit, you can use an attack against the person being critted.
Crit or
one of your allies can
overcrit.
do it. Ah.
I think the AOO, because of how nasty it is, I think it should be at +1 difficulty on both accuracy and power. But otherwise, yeah, I think I'm good with it.
But also, yeah, either that or we could try limiting it by saying it needs to be a quick action AOO, but we don't really do that too much, so.
I'm not sure both parties needing to have it makes that much sense, Furry. I think...
I mean, it would still make it harder, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be better that just those that are there would be able to, you know, the allies would need to actually have this feat. I think that would be the better way to do it. And either way... yeah, the, I think +1 difficulty on accuracy and power for it. And should we decrease the cost or just I think we should just leave it the same.
Yeah, just
It's
leave it the
still
same.
a free attack, so
Well, it'd be an attack of opportunity, so you'd need to still use a reaction.
well, yeah.
So it's not free. If it was free, I would be the hard vetoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No fucking free attacks.
There we go. Got that noted?
Now, how much XP?
It'll be the standard.
It's standard, so it's 25.
Yeah, got that noted. Let me repeat it just to make sure I didn't write wrong. If you create or overkill, one of your allies can make an AO against the target being created. A plus one difficulty for both accuracy and power. The ones that do no.
No.
When your ally crits or over crits a target you're next to, then you may make a AOO against them.
You're next to. That's what I didn't put on. Sorry.
Well, you also were wording it as as it's from the person that causes the overcrit.
Yeah. Let me rewrite that.
Not.
Alright, one more. I'm not fond of the fact that it's an affinity feat, because I'm trying to avoid having more than... Well, so the affinity feats, like, I want to add more, but also, if I add a fourth one to any type, I'm going to feel like I need to add a fourth one to all of them. And that's a lot to come up with. But either way, Forked Bolt. When your movement would provoke an attack of opportunity, you may use a reaction to spend 1 exhaustion and move an additional 5 feet away from the attacker, potentially nullifying the AOO. You may choose to use Forked Bolt after the AOO's accuracy and before its power has been rolled.
I get what it's going for.
I get it as well, but... not sure I like it. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts?
I don't feel strongly about this. That feels like anybody that does a lot of movement would just be a little cheatsy with it.
Yeah, and otherwise it's an especially situationally useful one. I think this is going to be a pass.
Yeah.
For Geemond here... And we are technically done with the suggestions, so we'll get to that one next time. Alright, so to the to-do list. Just trying to find it. There we go. All right. Well, we'll just start here at the bottom. Discussion. Should we rename or make it a sub-maneuver? Second wind cleanse to second wind reset. I think that would be a good change because we've been calling it second wind cleanse. And I feel that that could get confusing with cleanse itself. And I think making it a sub-maneuver would be good as well. Because that's technically what it is.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Alright, make note.
If we want to, for people that are still using it, we could always, like, people are still probably going to call it Second Wind Cleanse, but we should probably also, like, community clarify that that should be used to refer to the one where, you know, you're resetting your stats, and then Second Wind Heal could be the one for healing.
Yeah, yeah.
If people keep, you know.
We'll come back to that, the feed idea that I had here later. So primeval forms. Geemond is very passionate about that, and which, by the way, this goes to everybody. Just a general statement to everybody. We really appreciate your passion for this system. We appreciate you guys have strong opinions on things. I'm not singling anyone out. I know I've already mentioned Geemon, but there's been more than just Geemon that have gotten not so happy with us about decisions we've made for the system. Just remember that what we are deciding is what we feel is best for the system as a whole. Like, sometimes the suggestions that are coming in and what people are wanting us to do, like, I don't think Geemon's going to abuse the primeval forms. But what he's wanting us to put in there for it, just as an example, would cause it to be very abusable by others in the future. And we're not always going to be around to be like, no, that's not the spirit of it. You can't do that. So we got to make it as generalized as possible so that way those other, you know, future players can't cheese it and can't cause a group argument over how, no, this is totally how this works.
We're also trying to avoid the Mary Sue.
Yeah, or making anything in particular a meta. Which in the case of, like, what Geemon was wanting to have changed with primeval forms is, that's kind of, it would make it the meta for the system. And as somebody that has played Pathfinder with people that are very knowledgeable of the mechanics, It is a really feels bad moment when you're sitting there wanting to build one thing and then you've got somebody else that's being like, you're an idiot. That's terrible. The meta is this.
Yeah.
For the record, I'm not dealing with that with anybody in the current Pathfinder games, but I have dealt with that in the past with the Pathfinder in particular.
I was about to say, nobody in this group is like that.
No. Thankfully, no.
Yeah, but people are like
yeah.
that.
Yes,
Very
they
much.
are. I know they.
Yeah.
very much am aware that people are like that, and it's annoying. It's that and the rules lawyers that get me. What page number is that on?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I haven't experienced that myself, but I've listened to a lot of RPG horror stories.
Yeah. Well, I know we're going to eventually have there are going to be metas in any system. There's going to be things where, okay, if you do this, and this, you're going to be the strongest thing ever. We can't avoid that. But we can at least limit how easy it is for there to be a meta.
Like, just for instance, there does already exist, like, correct choices you're able to make with your build in order to be as powerful as possible. And forms, with how it currently is, even accounting for the no skill monkey versus combat form, is already meta. It is literally already one of the things that you want to pick up anyway. It's already good.
Which is why we honestly
I know Go ahead.
Which is why we are probably going to need to nerf it. But go ahead with what you were going to say.
I know I responded in text, but just for this, I'm going to also bring up part of my response to it. Which is, first of all, STs are encouraged to check what their players are doing with their forms and go, hey, change this, if people start getting a bit too funny with their forms. In terms of it just being very obvious of, hey, look, you're making a skill monkey form. It has really high skills compared to, your other one. And while, yes, technically speaking, this is combat capable, I know what you're doing. Change it. Storytellers are encouraged to double check what people are doing and going, hey, no.
Yeah.
Forms are meant to be just alternate minor changes between characters, so you don't have to do certain things. It's not meant to be a whole second character sheet.
Yeah. Or if it is, it's supposed to be a very self-functional character sheet as well, where it's like, oh, hey, this build, they have, this one deals a lot of direct damage. This one deals more with conditions. This one is a bit of a healer. That's fine, because that's just changing overall what you're, the sort of capabilities that they have. But it's not... All of them would be very capable in combat and outside of it. If people keep trying to make it so that way they get a skill form and a combat form, which I understand why they want it. It'd be amazingly good, which is the problem, but it would be amazingly good and fun. We're gonna go back and do the thing that we didn't want to do and are trying to avoid doing with forms, which is making a red XP, blue XP situation where, no, you have skill XP and ability XP, and they are in strict half and half pools with forms. And we don't want to do that. But if people keep trying to get their busted super skill form and super combat form that they get to swap between, we're gonna make that. And we don't want to. Like just being really clear here.
Yeah, I can see arguments for forms in a lot of different ways, but honestly, before we went with the red and blue XP nonsense, I would say get rid of forms at that point, if it's becoming that much of a problem, because that means every ST out there is going to deal with that problem. No matter what we do.
I am thinking that we change it where you cannot change your skills, period, between forms. None of your stats can be changed. Attributes, expertises, and skills remain the same regardless of form. It's just the other things on your sheet that can be changed. Which will mean that you are a less effective, you're less effective at the different combat forms that you go into, because you can't just, max out Brawl and for the combat one and max out Medicine for the healing, or swap them between each other, but I think that's the best middle ground we've got available, is setting it up that way. So it's also that whole, jack of all trades, master of none. If you're wanting to do everything, you're not going to be that good at all of them.
Yeah. We could lock forms to only having one change, or a minimal amount of changes, kind of like a point system or something. So somebody could have an attribute change, but that's going to take up all their form points or something like that.
That's getting into the red XP, blue XP thing that we're wanting to avoid.
Kinda.
Which is why I'm leaning more towards just, okay, all of the stats are locked. But you can change your moves and everything else, and while your moves can easily make up for the lack of outright skill support. Because, you're building, you make a condition, well, you swap all of them over, all of your things, to having a lot of application, There's ways to get past it. And still make yourself good. And I think that's the route we should go. And maybe we should get rid of the swapping feats. I know that's an upgrade on it, but I think maybe we should just have it... Basically, only your abilities can be changed.
Well, okay, so... Now we're getting into, it was strong, so let's neuter it into unusability territory. Because if they can't even pay to swap feats, then, for instance, you can't have one form that is, good at moves and then swap over to using weapons, because then you can't buy any weapon-related feats with the alternate weapon-using form.
That's fair.
At that point, it goes into, why are you using it?
Okay, so we'll not do that, but I think the skill side, we should consider that, at least. It makes sure that there isn't, you're not making a skill monkey form, and also takes a lot of the effort off of the storytellers, because they've already got enough to deal with instead of having to check 3, 4, 5 sheets. Wing Zero, congrats on that 250 stream streak. Hey, how are ya?
Yeah, it is a bit of a feels bad moment, though, where if you want to have a couple of different forms, you're going to get stuck with skills that might not even be used in the different forms.
I agree on that. But also, you can... It's not like any skill is particularly unuseful.
Yeah, but it's also like, if you're going from healing form to direct damage form, you're going to feel pressured to put at least a minor healing ability on there anyway to make use of the 5 in medicine you have.
You could always limit the amount of skills you can swap. You could just do it as a swap system.
I considered that, but that still gets into that red XP, blue XP, essentially.
that was what we did for the skill XP versus ability XP pool system thing. That was
Yeah.
why that was already... We already had that worked out with how it would work if we implemented it. It's... If we're gonna limit it more, there's gonna be... Like, just for instance, there's gonna be things where I'm like... We should make it so that way, you know, maybe they don't have to revert after a particular scene, and instead, like, they can write it out, because if there's no skill difference, then does it really matter what exact form they're in?
Oh yeah, I'm okay with removing that restriction as part of this, because that was kind of
'cause
part of the
if-
thing, was trying to prevent the skill monkey, so, you know, you drop after scene and all that.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, thinking about... Because if we're taking away the ability to swap out skills, then that is going to be... You know, we got to claw back some amount of stuff for it. I guess if people...
I will be right back, but I'm still listening.
Yeah, I guess if people particularly want to do the full-on alternate character stuff, Two Souls does exist as a feat. It's just that you have far less control over when and where you swap.
And if it's really that important, talk to your ST.
Yeah, that as well. STs are always encouraged to change how things work based on, you know, the campaign. Granted, swapping over to it being skill locked is going to be annoying for me, but I'll make it work.
Is it bad? I was considering taking alternate form just that way I could have Growlmon Jace as a medium creature.
No, but that is a very valid, like, use case. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone would besmirch someone for going, hey, I want to pick up a form so that way I have my, you know, kaiju version that I like a lot and want to exist in, but I can still go inside buildings.
Do we already have an upgrade for changing sizes? Because if not, we should probably put it on.
No, I think that's that was already a thing though, where we said that you can change sizes, but you know, once you have that form, that's the size of the form. I think I'll double check. Chapter
We'll check real quick, please.
Forms.
Where's Jace's character sheet? Because I'm legit gonna do that.
Investment in permanent forms of all forms, all resource share change typing, saying. It is not explicitly listed in the things that you're able to change, but it's also not listed in the things that you can't change, so it's just unaddressed officially.
Well, when we made forms, we didn't actually have size chain or size categories yet, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I say a cheap upgrade. I would say 5 XP per size category difference from your normal, and you'll have to purchase it per form.
Do you have to purchase it per form that has it, or would it also be on a list of, like, let's say I have a medium and I want to go have a form that has huge. Does the medium form also have to have the 10 XP expenditure?
Both would, yeah. Because every
Yeah, okay.
form has to have all of the purchases, but... Like, if you are medium and you have a form that is medium and a form that is large, you would only have 5 XP cost for the large one. But it would be on all 3 forms. But if you
I
have
have a full... Good.
If you have a medium, a large, and then a huge, then it would be 15 XP total.
Okay, so it would stack.
Yeah.
That was about to be my question.
That's how I say it works. Or it should work. But
I mean, yeah, that definitely would be... That would definitely work. It would be unobtrusive. And also, you know, comparatively, for the benefits of being able to become large or become smaller, depending, spending like 10 to 15 XP is pretty fine. Out of 10.
yeah. Yeah.
I'd spend a lot more XP on dumber stuff.
I have immediately sold you on getting a form for Osmond just to become not tiny.
Well, I'm already sold on a form just that way Jace can walk around as medium.
Nice.
Alright, so we are going to go with the skill lock.
It'll be annoying, but yeah.
Well, putting the annoyance of you already having it and having to adjust things aside, I'm concerned with what would be
I have to
best
adjust,
for the
like-
system.
I have to adjust like 8 character sheets. I have like fucking 8 of them I need to change. So it'll be annoying, but yes.
Okay. But it is what you feel is best for the system as well.
So long as we claw back a couple of the restrictions around it that were because of the skill thing.
Yes. So,
And also, it's gated more, but we still have it in the system in the form of 2 souls. It's just you need storyteller explicit approval for that. So, like, you know.
and even then, it's
You
like
care
you can only
that
swap
much
once
about
a
having
day
it.
and such.
Yeah, or, you know, insert restriction here. Whatever the thing is decided between you and your storyteller.
Yeah.
That way, you know, for instance, Arcus and Fulgur can still have their completely different shit, but it's, you know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you can't choose to swap between them, really.
Alright, so... Alright, so size upgrade. The size upgrade for primeval forms was 5 XP per size category difference.
I'm gonna light some incense. Should I light cinnamon or vanilla?
Cinnamon.
I was about to make a mean joke because I am that tired, but I'm going to mute myself instead.
Skills are going to be locked. What exactly do we want to remove for restrictions, though?
First of all, changing at the end, reverting at the end of a scene.
Yes, that one.
That's one that can disappear.
I think a terminology update that would be good would be you receive 1 exhaustion when changing forms. There is already an upgrade where that removes it, so... But that's just a terminology update that I should do, so go ahead and put that in there.
Say it again?
Okay, so for this, maneuvers, second wind, and then here, and then down here is where we'll put this. There. That's how I prefer the notes to be done. Have them in the category of what they're in regards to. Which would mean that the crit info box should be moved up under conditions.
Noted. I'll do that.
Alright, so... Yeah, you can change your feats with Resoul. Additional form, we got that. We got the upgrade for... Oh, right. Okay, we already got that.
Hey, so I just realized something.
Yes.
I know it says that discounts that you have received do not change between forms. I know we were mostly treating that as skill discount XP, but I just realized, what if people get some XP discounts on their abilities? And so, you know, would the total amount of discount XP you have on your abilities also carry over?
I'm going to say no, because part of the point of the discounts is that you have practiced with this specific thing, so this is why you have that discount. So, you know...
I figured, I just wanted to check because it wasn't addressed. And technically,
Yeah.
the ability discounts would be carrying over currently.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, your discounts on your Fire Blast on your base form don't carry over to your healing form, or isn't useful to your healing form unless you want to make another Fire Blast. But you know, like, you make a lower power Fire Blast on your healing form, sure, go for it, enjoy. But yeah,
All right, so long as it's within the category, it'll transfer over. But you can't do, you know, fucking cha-cha slide with the discount over what it's applied to.
exactly.
We could. How do you feel about, especially now that the skill discount, not skill lock is going to be in effect? What about putting in an upgrade that lets, like, maybe something like malleable form or snap form or just something, and it makes it so that way, at the beginning of a scene, you can decide which of your forms you're in. This does not count for having assumed a different form for the purposes of form slide, though.
I like this. Yeah, malleable form, new C, new you.
New scene, new you.
That's the name for it. There we go. I'd say 12 XP for that. It's pretty good, but yeah, I'd say 12 XP for that. Thoughts? And also, hello there, Mofo Mofo. Pat Pat the Fluffy. It is a Whiskers.
Well, XP seems decent for it.
Okay. So it allows you
Could be cheaper, but like, you know.
So it'll allow you at the
also
beginning of a
strong.
scene to change form automatically. Does not count as changing form for the sake of other effects such as form slide.
Yup.
And we'll specify it's a free action.
Sounds good to me.
And honestly, with the skill lock, I think it'll make it much easier for most people to make another form.
That's fair.
Like, the change right now from no skill lock to skill lock is a bit, but for future people that are making new forms, it'll be a lot easier for them.
True.
Me in the background already adding new forms into the list for Jace, just so he has a medium size. And you see new me immediately in there. And freedom of form immediately in there. Done.
Perfect.
Jace can just go kaiju now.
Should we have it be named New Scene, New You, or New Scene, Who Dis?
I have it as new scene new me. Because it rhymes a little bit better.
I think I actually like that one, Era.
Yeah, we'll
that's a
make
pretty
it.
good name for it.
We'll make it New Scene, New Me.
It also kind of sounds white woman New Year's.
Alright, so should sealed include magic? I was going through and getting all of the scene conditions actually fully written out finally. Still need to go through the persistent ones, but I got all of the scene ones made, but I realized that sealed is a really weird one that does it's weird, and I'm not certain how exactly, because, like, we don't have it hard-coded that magic requires that you be able to speak, for example, so I think we should have that hard-coded if we want it to work that way. So, yeah. I think we should figure that out, how we want it to work. My idea is that we come up with a parallel condition. So, sealed will disable moves and magic. And meanwhile, we can have another one that disables weapons and might.
That'll probably be for the best. Because sealed wasn't even supposed to fully disable weapons anyway.
Yeah, it
Originally.
specifically only disables moves. But it's also kind of been grandfathered in since before we had moves or weapons, so, you know. That's my thought. Sealed removes magic. I think the first stage of sealed disables magic. But moves remain available until stage 3.
Well,
Again,
But that's just... I'm just tossing things out there for discussion.
The only problem with that is that basically anybody in a campaign that has magic should have just take sealed, because you only need one stack to completely disable a mage then,
Yeah.
True.
which is big oof. And with how much investment you need to do into magic to begin with, I don't think stage 1 disabling magic is good. We could do an increased difficulty.
I was
or
about to say
maybe
a scaling
concentration
increased
checks.
difficulty. Yeah.
Or concentration checks.
Stage 1 is...
Increased difficulty.
Alright, so I do like stage 2 as it is. I think that is a good effect, and we'll probably copy it over to whatever we use for the Weapon and Might 1. They obviously won't stack, so, you know, if you got sealed 2 and the other one 2, then, you know, still the same effect, just no stacking.
By the way, you do need to talk in order to cast magic unless you have silent spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have that. So stage 1 currently does disable magic. Well, unless you've got the silent spell.
Yeah.
So... what should... So, I guess for now, stage 1 will be... It just increases difficulty on using moves and magic by 1. Stage 2 makes all actions go up a stage. And stage 3 just outright disables.
Yeah, that feels good to me.
Yeah.
Because if you're a caster or move user, by then you should be trying to actively cleanse that off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think...
And that's like on the level of, you know, getting fully hit with a stage 3 crippling condition. You're just like, all right, time to second wind cleanse. Sometimes you just gotta eat it.
For this one, okay, what all did I say there? Because we gotta get that noted. Stage 1 increases difficulty on moves and magic by 1. Yep. Stage 3 disables moves and magic. I think for the sake of effect, Stage 2 will still have deafened and silenced. Or maybe we have silenced be on sealed and then deafened on the other one. At Stage 2. Because I can't really think of any other... Well, I guess there's blind. But we also have a condition.
Blind's already a
blind,
condition,
yeah.
but yeah.
So, yeah, just... For sealed, it is... Stage 2 will be silenced. Which will disable some magic, but if you've got the silent spell, then you can ignore it. Otherwise, for resisting, I say that this is one where if magic is, like, I would say it is phonemics or integrity for resisting. And if magic is not enabled in the system, then it'll be subterfuge or integrity. So the default will be phonemics or integrity. Thoughts?
That sounds fine by me.
Subterfuge?
I mean, to be fair, that would be for doing things quietly anyway, so, you know.
Well, Braharu wrote subterfuge on the notes.
Yeah.
I will sneakily eat this fudge.
That sounds like something Kotra would do.
All right. So what do we want to name the counterpart to this?
I was thinking either disarm or defang.
Well, we've already got disarm as a maneuver.
Maybe defang then?
My only issue with that is that that does imply a natural attack, and natural attacks fall under moves.
My brain shut off. What was the name of the thing that we were just doing? Was
Sealed.
Sealed. Thank you.
And we're
My
trying to
brain
think
decided to shut
of what we want to name the weapon and might counterpart.
Could always do like chained.
Chained isn't a bad idea.
Or bound.
I worry it might be a little too close to restrained.
Yeah. Or shackled.
Shackled is already a magic thing.
Is it? Right, it is.
Stops teleport.
What does this word mean? Me looking at the thesaurus.
Was also,
Do we have weakened?
Bettered.
I don't think we have anything for weakened.
Or
Yeah.
constrained.
Ooh, constrained.
Oh,
Restrained
that's
could work.
restrained. That's basically the same as restrained.
Fair.
Same core word. Yeah.
Yeah. But what about weakened? Because it would apply for, like, that would make sense for why you're not able to wield a weapon or the might capabilities.
It
Ooh,
does work
Blue
for
Bat's
PvP.
suggesting cramp or sprain. I am giving you a Charlie horse!
We don't use
I
the
like-
word ensnare, do we?
Well, I'm trying to avoid things that are synonyms of restrained.
Fine.
I
I'll
do
flip
think
the source down.
I do think weekend could work, especially because it goes along with why it also involves the might instead of just weapons.
I think cramp. I like cramp.
Huh? Okay.
Any opposition to that? And I am
mean,
absolutely
it's-
putting in the flavor text. I give you Charlie horse.
I mean, it's a little bit silly, but you know, it does work.
Hey, we've got some silly stuff in here. Have you looked at half of the feats?
Well, I know, but there's a difference between having something like dedicated meant to be a silly thing and oh hey, this is actually a really useful core condition.
Well, I mean, the Charlie horse part is silly, but I don't think that causing their muscles to cramp is silly.
Fair.
And it makes sense as a condition, like that is very much something that is debilitating. Which, fun fact for everybody, because this is not well-known knowledge, if you wake up with a Charlie horse, do not try to stretch it. If a muscle
You
is
sit there and
cramped,
suffer.
Well, specifically, you want to focus on deep breaths, which is really difficult, but that is actually the best way to deal with a cramp is deep breaths, because usually your muscles are cramping because of a lack of oxygen, or sufficient oxygen. So you do not want to stretch it. That makes it worse and makes it last throughout the day. But if you can manage to not stretch it and just focus on deep breaths, you usually won't have that lasting pain throughout the rest of the day. Just a little friendly tip, everybody.
Yep. But also, you mostly just sit there and suffer through it.
Well, yes, you mostly just sit there and suffer, and, suffer even more trying to keep your breathing steady and deep. But,
So we're going with cramp?
Yes. Just right. Yeah, that works. For resisting it, I'd say same, resistances. Well, maybe, well, first off, what was the, might skill that we had? The equivalent to phonemics?
Hold on.
Discipline.
I think it was discipline, but I wasn't quite sure.
Actually, I think we might have changed it. And it's not on the main dock. Okay, it was routine that we changed one of them to routine. But, yeah, discipline is still there. And hello, Riley. Congrats on that 205 stream streak. So, yeah. Resistances, discipline, or integrity. And if might is not enabled, then acrobatics or integrity.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Gotta remember to stretch, bro. Get your protein, bruh.
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 That reminds me that I need to make my protein shake. I'll do it right before game.
Aren't you supposed to drink those before working out?
My trainer tells me to drink them at night.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
After my works out, yeah. It's for the recovery phase.
I don't know much about it. That was just my. Yeah, trust your trainer, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
That was just something that I thought I heard, so. Anyways. Alright. Discussion. Rules for throwing people to be hard-coded.
Where do I put that?
Make a new section called, or a new category called General. Alright, I'm thinking +1 difficulty for, or +1 or -1 difficulty for each size category difference. Equal if they are the same size as you. Actually, no. It should be +1 difficulty if they're the same size, +2 if they're bigger than you, and just impossible beyond that. -1 difficulty if they're smaller, -2 if they're 2 sizes smaller, and you could just do it for below that. Well, no, because I was going to say that athletics check to throw, and for each success you could throw them 5 feet. Is what I'm thinking. Thoughts?
Sounds fine enough to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's letting people get thrown an awful long distance, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a lot of successes, then, I mean, it's probably because you've got a lot of strength to do so, so...
Alright, cool. The Osmond missile incoming then, I guess.
I was about to say, Jace is ready to be a slingshot for anybody.
But it's
Okay,
also
ready
a
to
matter of, if you're actually throwing somebody, you're probably wanting to get some decent distance out of it.
Yeah. That is true.
I think I think we'll do a maximum amount of successes of half of your dots, and that will be like if they are 3 or more size categories smaller than you, then that's what they'll be. That's just how far you can throw them.
Well, in that case, the maximum distance you can ever throw someone is 15 feet.
Oh, really?
Well, because
Oh, yeah, I
if it's
guess.
half your amount of dots.
Well, I was meaning like body plus expertise plus.
Oh, the natural dice pool.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be a lot longer than, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, 15 does not sound like right to me, but
Yeah, that's the difference between dots and, you know. Yeah.
that. And yeah, 5 feet per success. You may freely decide to throw them less. You know, you roll. You need to get them, 30 feet.
You can
and
throw
you-
someone up to...
Yeah,
would be
up
the better
to.
wording for that, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I need you to throw me 20 feet across this gap. Rolls rolls for 100 feet throw. Well, bye, Osmond. Then again, knowing the himbos, the first time one of them tries to throw Osmond, it's going to wind up being 10 after 10 after 10 after 10, and next thing we know, Osmond's being thrown 1,000 feet across the continent.
That or it immediately botches and we throw him backwards.
Which would also be hilarious.
Yes.
I know it's not the same thing, but I couldn't help but imagine the freaking Charlie Brown kick when you said throw them backwards.
For this, I think fall damage rules would apply, but at half damage. So you would roll it like normal, but...
Touch me.
Uh-oh. What?
I cannot jump the distance, you have to touch me.
What?
Ghibli
that
asking
from?
to be thrown from,
Oh!
While gritting his teeth.
yeah.
After, because, he was like a dwarf is never tossed. And then later on, it's just like, I need you to attack me.
Oh,
But yeah, fall damage, but half damage. You know, you roll it as normal, but and then divide it by half. So I think that's fair because you're not falling, but you're falling horizontally.
Besides, if you're in a position where you're wanting to be yeeted by someone else, I think you're okay with taking a few points of damage for being literally thrown in an uncontrolled arc in a
Yeah.
distance away.
Exactly.
yeah.
At least you'd hope so.
As Osmond is
There are
thrown,
individuals out there.
1,000 feet and goes splat.
Nah, then it would be his turn to roll an acrobatics check, because you still get to do that for the falling thing, and,
Oh,
you know...
right. But he's not an.
Then-
he's not
then
a
he gets an-
himbo.
Well, yeah, but he got involved in a himbo roll, so now he has to roll an, Osmorbillion successes.
Fair. All right. While we're at this, though, we should probably come up with rules for jumping. I'd say basically the same thing.
Yep. So that way someone could commit a sewer slide by jumping 100 feet into the air and then splatting.
I think if you're jumping straight up, it'll be jumping straight up. You can go. It'll be half effective. Jumping horizontal, the same. If you're getting a running jump, then you run at least like 20 feet. Then you have -1 difficulty. Sound good?
Probably 10 feet, because I'm pretty sure that's our charge distance as well.
I thought charge was 20.
Thought it was 10.
Yeah, I thought it was 10 as well.
Oh, we're all wrong. 15.
15. Nice.
So, yeah, 15 feet then.
Yeah, whatever the charge distance is, that makes sense.
Actually, I think the jumping... Maybe we should make that a sub-maneuver for charge. And throwing is a sub-maneuver for grapple. And that way, jumping, you're going to have the same penalties as charge. Because, well... It's kind of hard to be really defensive if you are jumping over a gap towards the enemy.
Say that again. I think my brain didn't quite put those letters.
Basically, if you do a jump maneuver in combat, it'll be treated like a charge for determining, accuracy and power difficulty decreases against you.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the throwing is sub-maneuver for grapple. Because you're going to have to grapple them anyways to throw them, so...
True.
Please move those under maneuvers then. I think I added, yeah, where the second wind is. I was originally going to put these elsewhere in the book, but then I'm like, actually, those would make more sense as sub-maneuvers. So, yeah. Alright, so that is that taken care of. And then same rules for fall damage for jumping as the throwing. Going horizontal, it's, reduced. To going up, then, yeah, full.
It's fine. You can break your ankles for fun.
Yeah, yeah.
As a treat, just this once.
Yeah.
And remember, crying is always a free action, whether you have the feet or not. It provides no mechanical benefit, but it does fuel your storyteller. One of the notes that I came across, that's something that occurred to me. So we did discuss and approve that if you roll a cleanse to remove a condition and you roll enough for something else, you can just get rid of that. I don't think we should put that in because, well, we kind of have a condition set up the way where you have to have a whole bunch of different skills to counteract them. And there is the potential of cheese, where people could be like, well, I've got a really good integrity, so I'm just going to slap a condition on myself, roll against that, and be like, oh, hey, I got enough successes for this other condition I don't have enough stats for.
I think it should probably be a thing where it's, depending on, like, things that share the same resistance skill.
That would be fine. So, this one will go under maneuvers. Make a thing for cleanse, and that's where it'll go under. So yeah, if two conditions share the same skill resistance, and you can cleanse whatever you roll highest for.
If you want.
If you want. So something else that came to mind was a negative version of building power. Instead of increasing power, it reduces it. Possibly locking the user into using it every turn. Because otherwise it'd be kind of pointless. This was just one of those ADHD brain was like, huh, this could be interesting.
That kind of sounds like it could also be an interesting condition to give to an enemy.
Well, this would be a negative on a move in particular.
Yeah, it would be a negative on a move, but we already have stuff that plays around with damage rolls and such. Persistent
also,
conditions
it would make it be
particularly.
It would also make it be a even better version of the compulsion that we just denied earlier. If you could give this to an enemy and make them use a decreasing power leave every turn.
That
Yeah.
too.
Which would be funny.
It would, but it shouldn't be there.
But yeah, we can add it, we can toss it. I'm indifferent either way. It just was a random idea. And it would go
definitely
outside of the, it would go, like, if you keep having to use it, it would go outside of your, Actually, I'm starting to see some ways people can cheese it.
Yeah, which is what I was about to bring up.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be interesting, but, like, what if I put it on a non-damaging move? Or what if I put it on a move that has guaranteed damage or dot, so I don't care about what the actual physical roll is?
Yeah. Yeah. That... We'll pass. Persistent condition damage dice calculation rework. Did I add this?
Yeah, so I wrote that.
Okay.
I had an idea because I realized how onerous it was being actually, going over and checking what everyone's soul save was at the time and then noting down that that's how many dice. It's a good idea, but it's been very clunky every time it's been used. So instead, what I was considering is what if it was more along the lines of a static number, like how we have the save SR being for conditions that roll damage, how that's a static number where it's half of your natural dice pool. How would we feel about transitioning the amount of damage dice that a condition rolls for persistent conditions to be more in line with that?
Explain that again, please.
Okay. So you know how, for instance, the way that you calculate what the save SR of a condition is based off of half of your natural dice pool for application.
Oh yeah, I know that. But
Yeah. Currently, persistent conditions are very clunky with how they apply. So I was thinking, what if we made it so that way it's a static number instead, like that? Where we could either use that calculation, a different calculation, but instead making it be a static number so that way people always know how much damage dice a condition they apply is actually using compared to the people having to constantly try to remember what their save SR, or not, their soul save was at the time, and how many successes were rolled on application, and having to note that down and remember it all.
I am all for that. Just the question is, how are we going to adjust that and determine that?
We could also make it be half of the dice pool, so the same natural calculation as save SR. And if we do it that way, we would also think about putting in a upgrade that lets people scale the natural amount, like how people can scale the natural, save SR by doing the increased save. And that would be a different version of a power, the power cap using ability for a condition, where instead of throwing application power, maybe you go, whenever this does apply, I want this to roll a lot of dice.
I definitely think it should. I definitely don't think it should be based on the application, because that's double dipping.
Well, whenever I say that, I mean the natural application pool, because that's how the save SR works as well.
Fair. I am thinking, what if the default is however many dots you have in the skill that you're applying it with, so, whichever the social skills you're using. And then we can add add an upgrade for you to just add more, a move trait. So, you got 4 dots in etiquette. Your persistent condition comes with 4 dot on them. And then you can have we can add a trait that it's like, okay, and we're gonna add extras on top of that.
Yeah, that could work. What do you think, Ara?
I'm having trouble following right now, unfortunately. I am a little fried from work in so many meetings, so I'm I'm struggling a little bit. I'd love to see it in written form when my brain isn't been through an oven of an all-day meeting yesterday in person in office. It sounds good in concept. I want to read it when my brain's working. I am so sorry.
I'll be better, Sonera.
Should we try and figure out another day to do Scar Dev? 'Cause this has kind of been a thing since you got that promotion.
Yeah, I spend 3 to 4 hours a day in meetings right now.
Is it like every day or specifically today?
Yesterday was 8 hours in a meeting room with the whole team and the dev team and a company, our customer. So that was unpleasant. No, it is like every day I have 2 to 4 hours of meetings now.
Okay, so changing to a different day won't really help that much.
No, I just gotta get used to this.
I mean, if we
I'm
change
just-
it to
today I'm-
Mondays, at least it would only be one day of meetings that would be frying him.
Yeah, but I got a game on Mondays.
Oh, right. You've got a game basically all the time.
Yes. So normally I'm able to keep up better than this. Tonight, this conversation is getting to me and I can't keep up with this one.
All right, do you want me
I
to
was
try and
doing okay.
re-explain it real quick or no?
Sure, give it one more shot. Try and use
All right.
simple.
Conditions, persistent
Yeah.
conditions, the damaging ones.
Yep.
The way that
That
they
better
would
not-
work now would be you take the amount of ranks in the skill that you have, that you're using with it. So if you're using persuasion with the skill to apply it, you take that amount of dots you have.
Mm-hmm.
That is how many damage dice you will roll at the start of their turn every time the condition rolls for damage. Instead of
Okay.
it working like it is now, where it's however many successes on application above soul save. So now it'll be a
Okay.
static number.
Okay, that's where I got confused. Okay, so this would just be conditions. This wouldn't be for like dot damage. I was like,
No, this is just conditions.
okay. I was sitting here like, that doesn't make sense though. After all that work we did with dot damage. No, I'm fine with that. That would make condition dot damage way simpler.
And then we could make a power move trait or power trait in general, where it's increasing the amount of dots that you roll, but that's going to be a power trait, so that takes a cap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so sounds like it's approved. Going to make those notes for Haru. I think for the power trait, we'll just call it something simple. Condition damage over time. Or something, I'll figure out the name. For the price of it, considering it's more difficult to get rid of, I am thinking that we increase or make the cost 15 XP each.
Does condition damage go over ignore integrity?
Yes.
Condition damage does, yes.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Better to ask than assume. How much is guaranteed damage?
12.
Guaranteed damage is 12. Current damage over time is also 12. But damage over time is really easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm feeling like we might want to reduce it a little bit more. But this would be tied to a condition which could have an insane SR that you'll basically have to use a second wind reset to get rid of in some cases. Which is why I'm thinking it should definitely be a bit more expensive. But also, considering it also, a lot of the conditions have high costs as is, And it's only 1, that's why I'm suggesting 15.
Yeah.
Okay. If Tal's okay with it, then we should be fine.
It should be fine. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but, you know. Conditions can afford to pay some XP.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it being a static thing now will make it so much easier for everyone.
And it's also going to be on
Which is
top
why-
of what you already have on your skills, so...
Yeah.
So that's fine.
15 XP for
Trust
the power
me.
check.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, you guys were saying 15 HP for the trade, or something
Yes.
else.
Yes.
15 XP for the trade. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot easier for everyone to exist around. In comparison to constantly going, hey, how many over was that application check?
Yeah, writing it out for the... Because I did a rewrite during the last thing and was like, ugh, this is so clunky. We need a better system, so I am all for this.
Hell yeah.
Also, yes, it is Ido. I'm considering restarting this map.
Purge the duckies.
What was that?
I said purge the duckies.
Yes. Well, restart them. They'll come back. But yeah, get that noted down. I think we should lower damage over time to 10 XP. Like, I know damage over time is really good, but also it's really easy to get rid of.
Yeah, but gotta remember now it's a lot more stackable, so it's harder to get rid of now too.
That's if that is a situational thing. Like if yeah, your whole party is dumping damage over time on them, then yeah, definitely nasty. But like in DAH, I think Asher's the only one using damage over time. I might be wrong.
At least for now. Riv will pick it up, but it's just XP.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like, I apply 4 dot and then, yeah, it uses up one of their actions, but poof, it's gone. For the enemy.
That is true.
Right.
It do work like that.
To be fair, getting rid of an enemy's action is pretty advantageous.
Yeah, it just feels bad.
But it's also, like, 10 XP for a chance at being able to apply once.
Fair.
Did we? What?
I was just gonna say that I can see what you're saying.
If we do lower the experience, do we want to re-examine Linger and Magic and see if the moat cost is too high then?
If we do that, I'm pretty sure... I'm gonna double check right now. But I'm pretty sure the Linger version is already within the range. Yeah, Lingering is still already within the range of where I was putting 2 moat things, which was like the being around like 10 or 12 XP effects.
Okay.
Because moats are already like... Moats are sort of representative of either a range of the XP expenditure or the power. Usually a mix of the two. I'm fine with lowering it. We'd also have to lower the drain over time to 25 if we do, though, because the drain over time is a mix of the...
True. Which I'm okay with
Drain
that
over
as
time
well.
is really expensive.
Yeah.
It is
Drain over
really
time is already
expensive
funny
now.
in that it costs more to add it than you really get. So, like, on like a full action, for example, it's really funny because, you know, you get like... It's basically already almost the entirety EXP cap to keep adding it, which is kind of funny. It's already one of our most expensive traits, but it's so good when it works. People should use drain over time more. It's nasty. It's a premium tank stat,
It
unironically.
is.
Because on the tank, it feels so good when you heal between each enemy's turn that you've applied it to.
I am planning to on having that on Kotra.
Alright, so we'll reduce damage over time to 10, reduce draining over time to 25. Get that noted. And that is the persistent condition thing taken care of. Well, we really only have time for one more thing, because we'll want to take a break to reset before game. But something to consider for the future, I think, is... Like I'm not saying we go through and do it now, but do we want to consider removing a resistance and a weakness from each type matchup? So basically we go through the types and be like, for Astral, alright, they no longer resist wind, they're no longer weak to necrotic. Just as an example. Because, like, while we're good right now, we have had... I have had some people that have been like, there's a lot of different interactions between them.
Yeah, but, like, for the average type, some of them are a little bit wonkier. Like, for instance, Fire defensively has 6 weaknesses and 5 weaknesses, 6 resistances. But offensively, I'm pretty sure every single type is effective against 4, ineffective against 5, and neutral to 6. Except basic.
And we can't really adjust fire because that would throw all of that out of balance more.
Yeah, well, technically we could, because then there's ones like electric. Electric is another example. Electric has 3 weaknesses and 4 resistances. So, like, we could try and standardize that a little bit more, but really there's... The ones that have more is Fire, Psionic, and Shadow, and the ones that have less is Electric, Sonic, and Wind. So, like, I guess we could shuffle them a bit, maybe, but it's... Most types already have more neutral resistances than they have either weaknesses or resistances. And there is the fact that, like, at least on the character sheet that, you know, we have, I made it so it auto-calcs everything.
That's true. So, yeah, I think we'll leave it as is, because it is surprisingly well balanced as it is.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Also,
things
I've
that if
already
we were
done all the
touch it
checks to
down-
make sure we don't have super types. We don't have any super types.
Yeah, if we redid it, it would be a project.
Yeah.
I just wanted to toss it out there, so...
Yeah, it's remarkably well balanced right now. Having types is better than not having types, but there is no type combination in which it is categorically better at removing weaknesses than just being basic type. We
Alrighty.
have a little bit of time left. There was one thing that I wanted to do, which was the parry flexibility thing. Which is already written out a bit, technically.
Yeah, we can discuss it real fast, because I do want to give time to recharge and reset before game, and, well, we got 10 minutes, so...
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a really quick discussion,
Alright.
either yes or no.
Make parry be flexible, either at base or with a feat, with the user only needing to dedicate to one type of parry once they've chosen a parry category to use. So essentially, they say they're using parry, and then I guess if we have a feat upgrade, they purchase that, and then instead of saying I'm going to parry physical, they decide when they actually get attacked. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, basically, you'd only need to dedicate what category you're parrying once you've chosen the first thing to parry in your turn.
I'm okay with a feat for that.
Yeah, so am I.
And could call it like parry flexibility. Or flexible parry or whatever. So that way it isn't like, if you're doing a parry master thing, you aren't stuck with just going, okay, I declare that I'm going to parry this. And then people just go, okay, I'm just not going to use that. Now it's well, I'm going to parry. How about you find out what I'm doing?
Yeah, works for me.
Yeah, right. Can you repeat it, Tab?
Yeah, sure. It is flexible parry.
Mhm.
Going to be a feat. And it's going to be when using a parry, you only need to specify which category you are parrying the first time you would do a parry that turn. Until then, you are able to freely choose between physical or ethereal. There's better ways to word it, but that should be enough for Zim to, know what's going on with it.
Yeah, that's good. Alright, well, I think that's where we're going to call this dev session. Take a small break, get a little reset before we do game. Provided we are doing game. I haven't got a title or anything, but light pause on the channel, so I guess we are.
I believe we are.
We probably are, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. That was DevTales, as well as an Marten stream. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around. Commissioning one of the artists that I manage for. Their details are at zgf.art, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you so much for joining, everybody, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Later everyone.
Bye bye.